In this video, I am going to show you how I managed to whip out a Python desktop app in a weekend. I did it because I wanted to solve a problem I had been encountering for quite some time, and that problem was trying to pick a movie or a show to watch. Sometimes I would spend half an hour, and other times I would spend a whole hour trying to pick a movie or a show to watch. Before we go any further, I am going to go into the terminal and then run the app to show you how it actually works. So let us do that. I'm going to say uv run app.py, and this is the desktop app that we're supposed to be looking at. So I can do two things here. I can either select the name of the actress from this drop-down list, or I can simply type in the name. So I'm going to pick a name like Anne Hathaway, and here she is. So this is Anne Hathaway, and the movie that she appears in happens to be The Devil Wears Prada. I can type in another name for the actress. Let us go Jennifer Aniston. Run that, and here she is. So in this case, she appears in a TV show that I watched called Friends. Now, how does this help me solve the problem of picking the movie or the show to watch? So I only store these names of actresses in a database when I am impressed by their performance in a movie or a show. So in this case, I was impressed by Aniston's performance in Friends, so I thought she would be a good actress in other movies too. So in other words, I am using these names as filters to help me pick the next movie or show to watch. So I can simply say, if I was impressed by Jennifer Aniston's performance in Friends, I might as well be impressed in the movies or shows where she appears. This is how this helps me to solve the problem of picking a movie or a show that I want to watch. So enough of the demonstration. Let us go back to VS Code and actually explain how this all came about. Now I am here and I've got the dataset, the one that I'm talking about for the actresses and the movies where they appear, and it is called the movieshows.parquet, and it is contained in a folder called data. So if I run this, this is how the dataset looks like. So here I've got three columns. The first column shows the movie or the series, so this is the type, and here I've got the title, so you can see All the President's Men, Friends, The Crown, and so on and so forth. And here I've got the list of the actresses who impressed me in that movie or show. So for example, in Titanic, I was impressed by Kate Winslet's performance and Frances Fisher's performance. So these are the people that appear in this person list or column. As you can see here, they are separated by a pipe. So for example, this is one name and then pipe, and this is another name. So in other words, there are two people who impressed me in Titanic. Now I am going to go back to a Python script here. So, and that Python script is going to be, so this is going to be the get images. I have to get the images of all the actresses who appear in that dataset to actually get the pictures to display on the app. This is the code that I used to actually get a list of all the actresses that are contained in my dataset. Once again, I'm going to go back to the Jupyter Notebook. So here it is. And I am going to use this code now to show you how I managed to get the list of all these names. So I am going to run this code one by one. Comment this out, run this. So this is the original dataset that we have. And then out of this dataset, I am going to pick the person column. And then the next, I am going to convert this column to, in other words, I'm going to split this column so that every single name appears in a Python list. So I'm going to split on the pipe. Remember, I said that the pipe separates the two actresses. So if I run that, we see that Kate Winslet and Frances Fisher here, we have separated them. So this is one item and this is another item. The next thing that I'm going to do is to actually explode this column. Now, exploding simply means that we're going to grab this name and create a row for it, and then we're going to grab Kate Winslet here and create another row for her. Now, I want you to pay attention to the shape of the data frame. So right now, we've got 10 rows, but when I run this, it's going to expand, and now we've got 19 rows. As I said, every actress has their own row, and now I'm going to do unique. So if an actress appears in multiple movies, I want the name to appear only once. So let us do that, run that, and now we've got 19. So we don't have an actress appearing in multiple movies. And now to convert this whole column to a list, I am going to comment this out and then use the toList method, and when I run that, I have a list now. So this is what is going on in this Python script. This is what is going on. So I have shown you how we went about creating this actress list. Now, of course, I used other libraries like the OS, the request, the DuckDuckGo search, because I don't want to do this manually. I don't want to go to the internet and search for those actresses and then grab their pictures or download their pictures. I want to use a script to do that for me. So this is what we run. And when we run this script, it actually creates a directory or a folder called actress images. And in that, we get the images that it is going to download for us. Now, if we go in this directory called actress images, we're actually going to see the images of all those 19 actresses downloaded. Now, since I have this whole project on my GitHub in a public repo, I can actually go there and show you what is going on. So let us do that. So here I am in my GitHub repo, and the repo is called desktop app. I am going to leave a link in the description. But here is the directory that I was talking about. And these are the JPEG images for all the 19 actresses. So we've got that. So you can run this script to get the images by simply saying uv run and then get images.py and run that, and this will download the images on your behalf. Or if you don't have UV, actually, you can simply do python get images.py, and this should be able to do the trick. Another script that I want to focus your attention on is actually this one. This is the script that creates the SQLite database. So what this does is that it creates a database for the app to be pulling the data out of the database and display it for us to actually view. Once again, I want to focus your attention on how I managed to manipulate this data from the original source data to actually create the file names for the images so that we are able to see them on the app. So let me copy this code and then go back to the Jupyter Notebook. So once again, I am going to comment this out. Run this. So this is the original data set, and now I am going to say pick these columns. Actually, these are the columns that we have, but I'm just rearranging them so that person is the first, title is the second, and type is the third. So now, as usual, I'm going to split on the pipe, run that. This is converted into a list, explode that. I have exploded that. Now we have 19 rows, and now I want to create an image path. When we downloaded those images, they were joined with an underscore here. So the space was removed with an underscore, and that is what we want to mimic. In addition to that, we want to have this have a .jpeg extension. This is what is going to happen. I am creating a new column called image, which is going to contain this value. The first name and the last name is going to be joined by an underscore, and at the end it is going to have the .jpg to actually symbolize the path for the image. So when I run that, we now see that Meredith Baxter here is now Meredith_Baxter.jpg. This is the path that we're going to use to retrieve the images from the directory where they are stored. So enough with the Jupyter Notebook. Let us get back to the Python script that actually creates the database, and it is called setupdb. So this is it. And now we're creating a SQLite database. And here, this is actually the creation of a table for those things. So we're going to have a table in the database with 4 columns. The first column is going to be the person column. The other one is going to be the title. The other one is going to be the type. And then we've got the last column, which is the image. So running this script will create the database and the table in that database. And that table will be populated by the values we saw in the Jupyter Notebook. Now, the final script that I'm going to show you is the script that actually creates the app. So that script is the app.py. So let us select that. Now, here I used Kivy. So Kivy is a library that we use to create GUI applications in Python. This is the code that creates the entire app. I'm not going to explain every single thing here. As I said, this whole code is going to be on my GitHub repo in a public repo. So I am going to leave it up to you to actually figure out what I was doing here. Anyway, let us run this app just to demonstrate that it actually works. So when I do uv run app.py, run that, and this is what creates this application that we talked about. So here's the app, and I can pick the names of the actress that I want to see. Here's the actress. What's her name? Her name is Sarah Michelle, and she appears in a TV show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The app is working. Mila Kunis. She appears in Black Swan. And here's her image. We can type in the name of the person we want, Kate Winslet. Run that, and here she is. She appears in Titanic. So this is how this works. Now, the final thing. So let us minimize this and then get back to the Jupyter Notebook. Now, the final thing I want to show you is to actually create the desktop app, to actually have an icon on your desktop that you can click to open it. What we've been doing so far is just running scripts. Now, we don't want to be doing that all the time. We want to run the app. We want to create the app as an icon so that we can click it and actually have it open like the normal desktop apps that you use. So to do that, we are going to run this script in the command line. So if I go to my README here, I have it, which is that in order to create, if you're using a Mac, in order to create that desktop app with an icon, you should run this script in your terminal. So run this entire script. It is going to bundle everything together and then create the app. If you are using Windows, you should run this script. Once again, this whole README is going to be found in the GitHub repo that I will share. But if you are on Windows, you can run this, and this should create the equivalent. I am on a Mac, so I am running the script. But if you are using Windows, you can run this other one, and it should create that app. So since I'm on a Mac, I am going to copy this line of code and then run it in my terminal. So let us copy this, Command C, and then get back to the terminal. So I'm going to get back to the terminal and then paste that in here and then run it. So it is building up the application now. It is building it, it is building it, it is building it, and sooner or later it is going to be done. And it is done. How do I know that it is done? Well, it has stopped running. So I'm going to go back to my directory. So let us minimize this. And then if I go on my Finder here, and I am in the directory called Desktop App, now I see this folder called dist. This is the folder that actually contains the icon that I want. I could even copy this icon as an alias and place it on my desktop, or I can simply double click it and open the app. So let us double click on that and then allow that, and voila, we've got the app open. We could scroll all the way on this drop-down list and pick the name of the actress we want. Meryl Streep, here she is. She appears in The Devil Wears Prada. How about typing? Let us type in Kate Winslet. Run that, here she is. The app works as we should expect it to work. So this is how you would create a desktop app and have an icon with it so that you can click on the icon and actually open the app. As I said, I am going to have all this code open sourced on my GitHub. You can actually access it and play around with it. I encourage you to use your own dataset. As I said, I created this just so I could solve the problem of trying to pick what movie or TV show to watch. I use these names as a filter because these are the people who impressed me in the movies or TV shows that I watched. So I use them as a filter to say, if I enjoyed watching this person in a movie or a TV show, I might as well enjoy them in these other shows or movies that I haven't seen about them. So I search for those specifically as opposed to randomly searching on the internet trying to find the perfect movie to watch. It narrows down my search. I hope you found this engaging. You can reach out to me if you have any questions or problems. In addition to this, I have a website where I have pretty much everything that I do. So this is my website. If you want to enroll in my course, which is on Udemy, in my courses on Polars, because Polars is what I use for data analysis and managing, and I've got courses on that. So these are the courses that I have released on Polars. You can enroll in these courses if you want. Other than that, you can read about the stuff that I write. So this is my blog where I try to reflect on what I have learned or what I have observed in life and try to make myself think about the stuff that I observe and maybe share with the world so that we could be on the same intellectual footing. That is about me. So here is me. My name is Joram Mutange. For now, let us say goodbye. Goodbye.